Right then, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. What we're doing here is a transfer from a 6-frame nuke, which has got another nuke on top with brood frames in it, and we are transferring it into an L plastic hive that's insulated. Now, this is a swarm from last year. It's a swarm from last year and it's doing quite well. All the frames are full at the bottom and in the second part of the polynuke on top. So it's like a double brood basically. In the second part, all the frames were worked on apart from the outer two. So it's time to swap them over into a proper hive and get a super on, because they're just about ready for a super, to be fair. So here I am down my new location. Mrs. is there in the background. Hey, Mrs. Candle, she's there at the back with a flashing light, look. Yeah, I got my suit on and my smoker going. Not using the smoker that much, to be fair, because they're pretty calm bees. Although I did get stung off into the hive because I took my suit off. So yeah, we've got 12 frames, 12 brood frames in there, and I only need 10 in the hive. I didn't spot the queen, but I took all the frames out very gently, and I was looking for it obviously, but my main objective was to get all the frames in a full-size hive. Hive tool there, bees everywhere. So yeah, them 6 brood frames there are full. I know this because I've already done it. So I've only got one entrance open on the NL hive. Not bad hives for the price. I think about 120 odd quid for the base brood frame, for the base, sorry, and the brood box and a couple of supers, a lid, etc. Not bad. And here's the first frame out at the end. Having a bit of a look for the queen, but I'm not worrying about it too much, to be honest, because the objective is just to get them into a hive. Ideally, if I did see the queen, it would be a lot better, but I didn't. So as you can see, you got some stores around the outer side of the frame. What am I looking for here? Oh, a bit more smoke. Bees are everywhere, absolutely everywhere. But like I say, they were pretty calm, so not too bad. Second frame out. And them polynukes were quite good actually, quite dry on the inside. There's one there, another frame. I think you'll find that's all brood there. This queen is laying for England, she really is. She's doing well, considering that was a swarm last year. And I've had other swarms that have disappeared or died off. I lost a couple of swarms through whatever reason, but look at that brood pattern there, beautiful. Absolutely amazing. Loads of cat brood in this. This eye is gonna do quite well, I think. Gently putting them in. So that is an overwintered nuke. with 12 brood frames, but only 10 of them were occupied, but overwintered nuke. And they weren't doing that well just before winter. So this queen has just gone completely mad at laying eggs. She really has. Should be a good hive, this one. But she is from the original beehive, my first beehive that I had. I did have 8 hives, I've only got 6 left now. So all you got to do is take your time. If you're going to do it yourself, just take your time and slowly, just have a quick look over the frame, see what's going on. There we go. Now that there, I ran out of brood frames and I had to put some supers in, and as you can see, I didn't want to disturb that lot. Look at that. Absolutely loads and loads of brood. I'm well chuffed with this hive. It has come on in leaps and bounds. Unbelievable. Look at that lot. That's all brood, cat brood there. Forgot what I was saying now, but yeah. If you're planning on doing this yourself, just take your time. Even if you don't see the queen, as long as you take your time, that queen should be on them frames somewhere. You know what the queens are like for running around the frames and hiding. So all I did is, frame by frame, put them in the middle. Just took my time, no shaking or anything of the frames. And then just obviously hope for the best that the queen was in there. But at the end of the video, I had a look around, I couldn't see no queen on the floor. And normally if you see a queen on the floor or somewhere, there'll be loads of bees around her. So I didn't see any of that, so she must have gone straight in the hive with a bit of luck. There's another one. Look at all that brood. Shame they're on supers, I do realise that, but at the time, I was a bit stuck because I had 6 swarms last year from the same hive. And look at that, it's beautiful. Beautiful, look at that. 6 hives, and I ran out of brood frames, to be fair, so I had no choice. And it don't take them long to sort that game out there, does it? Mind you, I wouldn't have been too happy if I'd have took them frames out and all that brood had just dropped on the floor. I'd have been a bit pissed at that, but obviously they've stuck it on quite well. And I didn't have no queen excluder, so the queen could have been in the box near the smoker. Like I say, she normally stays on the frames, but not all the time. I have found a queen wandering around on the floor before. Yeah, so I had a problem with the allotment. So I had to bring most of my hives down my mate's house, luckily. He's got a massive back garden and it's not bothering him at all, but it always is handy to have a backup somewhere else that you can take your bees if you get a problem wherever your bees are kept. They turn around and say, oh no, you got to move them. Look at that, more brood there. I think on the bottom of that one you'll see some capped drones, the bigger cells. Right, so about 3 frames in there were supers, but what can you do? Yeah, there they are. Drones there on the top in the corner. But yeah, wherever you keep your bees, always make sure that get yourself somewhere else to keep them, just in case you get a problem. And I don't, if you follow me on my Instagram, Bees in the Shed, I think it's called. You will realise that if you're going to keep bees, make sure you do the bee course and get the certificate for it. I did it with somebody called the Bee Farmer in Leicestershire. I went there for 2 days at the weekend, and I knew everything he was teaching me because I've been keeping bees for about 3 years now. And all I was after is a certificate at the end. And then when he gave me that, I went and got it laminated, so that's all protected. Because if you keep your bees on allotments or anywhere, somebody can turn around to you and say, just stores on that one, I think, end frame. Somebody can turn around to you and say, oh, have you done a bee course? No. Oh, are you registered with the British Beekeeping Association, which you need to do as well? No. Oh, you need to move your bees in, and that's what happened to me. One thing I should mention with the British Beekeeping Association, be careful when you register with them. I think it goes from October to October, and if you register in April or March, you'll pay your 45 quid or whatever it is, and you will only get 6 months for 45 quid. They will give you a refund if you ask for it. But I think that's a bit of a con with the British Beekeeping Association, is if you don't register with them at the beginning of the year, you're going to lose X amounts of months of registration with them, because you've gone past October, I think it is. So just bear that in mind. Check when the registration starts, and if it's like, for example, September, you're going to pay 45 quid and only get 2 months registration, then you've got to do it again. The reason I needed that is because I needed the certificate to show I'd done a foundation course, which is a basic beekeeping course, and I needed to be registered with the British Beekeeping Association, because if you're keeping on allotments or anything like that, and they've got public liability for the allotments, that insurance company are going to want to see those two things. Just bear that in mind. That foundation course, basic beekeeping course, you've got to do it. It's completely and utterly necessary, just to protect yourself, and you get free public liability as well, so that's not so bad. So here I am in the top part of the nuke, and as you can see, there's quite a lot of bees occupying them frames as well. So this hive is doing really, really well, and I just swapped it over into a proper hive just in time, and I think these ones could make me a lot of honey, to be fair. Plus, if I didn't swap them over, they could have swarmed as well if they start getting overcrowded, so you got to watch that, ain't you? So I ended up taking 4 frames out of here, and 2 of them they'd not done any work on, so I took them out. So that was all right. It'd been nice if they'd done a bit of work on them, but not to worry. And then what I've done is put that polystyrene nuke, I've put it back to 2 separate nukes, put the lid and the base on, and I've got the entrances open. They're full of blank frames, some with plastic, some with wax foundation, and I put them in my mate's garden, and if there's any swarms, with a bit of luck, I might get a free swarm. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? But there you go, I'm just starting to fill that up nicely. I mean, realistically, them frames that got a lot of bees should have been a bit closer to the centre, to be honest, I think. Because I'm taking them from the middle above the bottom brood, so that top brood section, they're coming from the middle, so really they wanted to go close towards the middle. So probably worth bearing that in mind. Oh dear. But yeah, it all worked out nicely. Quite happy. Got me nukes back in case I got any swarms, although I have got about 6 of the damn things now. And yeah, happy days really. Oh, well chuffed that I got it all sorted, to be honest. Look at that, full of bees. Full, absolutely full. That queen in there is laying for England. She really is doing well. Look at all the bees on my suit, covered in them. Mind you, normally I get them attacking my gloves and stuff, but especially when I'm doing something like this, but I think they were just sitting on me for a rest, to be honest. Saying, hurry up and sort my new home out, and yeah, so I can go back in the hive. But it all worked out quite well, to be honest. All went quite smoothly. And don't forget, guys, don't forget to leave comments, like and subscribe. And you'll see a trailer at the end of this video. I've got another decorating channel, work channel, painting, decorating, if you're into that sort of thing. As you'll see in the background there, I've got about 10 brood frames that are made out of plastic. I mean, I really want some wax rubbing over them, to be honest. There's another frame there. What did amaze me though was how dry it was in these things, these polynukes. Well, train. Make sure you get all the spacing right on your frames as well. I mean, I probably will go in that hive at a later point so I can spot the queen. Not that I need to. And I'm not a big fan of marking the queens either, because you got to be ever so careful doing the marking of the queen. You can excuse me, quite easy to stress the queen out and kill the queen when you're marking queens. Most of the time it's just not worth marking them, I don't think, to be honest. There's me first beehive there with the wooden box. I put another brood box on that, so I've got the base just behind me, side of me bum, is a national. I've got national frames and that's where I made the mistake, didn't realise about different types of frames, but not to worry. But I've got a massive brood box there, it's about 3 years old, deep nationals in there. That's the one I had 6 swarms out of. Basically because I've just never been in there and disturbed the frames on that wooden one. And I put another brood box on top of it, the blue one, because I'm going to split that at some point. When there's eggs and stuff in it, I'm going to split it, get another hive off that. Right, back to the pink hive. I'm now putting the queen excluder, and because all them frames are like 90% full, I'm putting a honey super on now. So I've got 10 honey super frames in there. Well, I will have in a minute. I actually use one of the brackets for that blue hive, so I need to get some more brackets. So I'm just putting a super on there that's got all the brackets on, queen excluder underneath it, putting the wooden supers in that in a minute. I'll tell you what, if I get some swarms this year, luckily they should be around the garden somewhere, because he's got a massive back garden. I wish it were mine, I really do. I'd love it. If I had the money, I'd buy it off him, to be honest. Used to be allotments at the back of his house, and his dad bought them for £1 or something. Some people have all the luck, don't they? Don't realise what they got. So yeah, some supers going in there. One or two of them have not got foundation, which is okay, because I'm going to cut the cone off and put it in the jars with the honey. These are decent supers, actually. Good supers, they are. Good quality ones. Can't remember where I bought them, but they were expensive. So yeah, if you want to put if you want a jar of honey, big jar of honey, say a litre, or something like that, and you think, oh, I fancy putting a bit of honey coning because it looks cool, don't put no foundation in one of your super frames. And then you can just cut it up, can't you? Put strips of honeycomb in one of your jars. Yeah. Quite like these hives though. The only thing I did notice, if the swarm or the bees are not overly strong, it seems to get a bit damp in one or two of them over winter. But I suppose you get that with most things. And just putting a plastic one in there, plastic super, because I ran out. The plastic supers and the plastic brood frames are quite cheap, but you do tend to get some that are warped, I should say, not quite straight, like that one. I don't think that was quite straight. But yeah, that's basically how you transfer your bees, whether you've just bought a nuke off a company or whatever, with your bees this spring, and you want to put them into a hive. That's roughly how you go about it. Just take your time, even if you don't spot the queen, just take your time, and one frame at a time. Try and put them in the new hive at sort of in the same location and the correct way round. So if you're getting 6 frames off a nuke, put them in the centre and put your new frames on the outer edges. And if it's plastic, try and rub some beeswax over them, or foundation, just put them in at to either side at the ends. As you can see, it's a big old area, and it's like Gatwick Airport round there. I've got 4 NLB hives there, so that's not bad going, is it? And then I've got plastic crown board there on top, so I can take the lid off, and I'm going to put the other super box on there for storage. I can take the lid off, have a look down and see how they're doing, just shine a torch down there, see how far they are on the frames. But like I say, I'll keep you informed on this, because I think these are going to do really well. And then that's goes on. Like so. And then I'll just have to put the lid on, and I can look down and see how they're getting on. I hope this video's helped you out, and that's how you transfer your bees